Well, good morning. How's everybody? I hope you're doing well. Listen, if you don't know me, my name's Elliot. I'm thrilled to be here with you today. What's up, man? Doing all right? Good to see you. Whether you're here with us in the room right now or whether you're joining us live on the stream on Facebook or YouTube, on the podcast, Spotify, wherever you are, we're so glad that you're here with us. And I want to give a special welcome to our Kids Cove friends who are in here with us this morning. We're excited for you guys to be in here with us as well. I have a special message that's just for today. And so one thing that I'm excited to share with you is God's been working on me. And the title of today's message is called Choose Your Circle. Choose Your Circle. I want to start with a story that really happened from my life just a couple of months ago, actually. A couple of months ago, I found myself spinning in a circle, actually, literally spinning like this. And it was the culmination of a lot of things that had been happening in my life. Starting on the 4th of July, my car died. I drove it to Walmart. I went in, got stuff, came back out. It never started again. And if you've ever been towed out of a Walmart parking lot, you know how exciting that is. And on the 4th of July as well, because no one else is at Walmart on the 4th of July getting last-minute things, right? So it was an exciting day. So shortly after my car died, my grandfather passed away. And my papa, he was one of my heroes, and so I needed to fly to Kentucky to go to his funeral. And then we hired Paul. You know, Paul, he was just out here. Isn't he phenomenal? He's doing a fantastic job. Yeah, absolutely. So we hired Paul in the middle of all this. And my sweet daughter, Eden, many of you know her, she was getting ready to have her second surgery of the year. Okay, earlier in the year, she broke her toe and needed surgery to get it fixed. And then this time, it was going to be tonsils and adenoids. So I just got a new car. And then Paul started on Monday. And then Eden had surgery on Tuesday, and then depending on how you cut it, Wednesday, late Wednesday, early Thursday, I'm driving to the airport to go to Sanford to go to my papa's funeral. And, it was 3:30 in the morning, and I'm just cruising. I got plenty of time. My flight's at 6:30. I'm supposed to meet my sister there, and I'm just cruising along, and I'm singing worship songs at the top of my lungs. There's nobody else on the road. You can't see anything for miles and miles. And I'm singing elevation worship, Sea of Victory. I'm going to see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. So I'm just going down the road. I'm going, and I see these headlights in the back, in the rear view, and I'm like, it's not a big deal. There's no one else coming from miles on either side. And they just keep coming. And they're coming faster and faster and faster. And just like, it's not that big of a deal, until it was a really big deal. Because this guy, he's going about 85 miles an hour, and he comes screaming up behind me, and I'm in the middle lane, so I'm like, I don't have to move, do I? Apparently I did, because he came flying up behind me at the last second, jerks to the right, loses control, fishtails, punches 3 holes in the side of my car, and sends me spinning like this all over I-95. And I'm praising Jesus in this moment that there's nobody else on I-95, because I was in all of the lanes. And I was trying, in that moment, I'm slamming on the brakes, and I remember saying out loud, seriously? Is this happening right now? Are you kidding me? And I'm trying not to flip the car that I've had for 2 weeks at this point, by the way. And I'm trying not to flip it, and I'm slamming on the brakes, trying to get it to stop. I finally did get it to stop. Well, okay, it finally stopped when I slammed into the guardrail and pinned myself facing the wrong way on I-95. Every light on the dashboard comes on. Then I watch my man drive away like nothing happened. And in this moment, it was all I could do to hold it together. I just wanted to quit. You ever been there? Like, just, what is going to happen next? Boom, 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 boom. Time after time after time after time. What else can go wrong? But I can't sit there and have a pity party. I'm supposed to be on a flight. Okay? And so I have to start making all these phone calls. I got to call the cops. I got to call my insurance company. I've got to call my wife. I got to call my parents who are already in Kentucky, and call my sister who I was supposed to meet at the airport, and tell them all the same thing. Hey, I'm fine, I think, but the car, not so much. And I'm not sure that I'm going to make this flight, much less the funeral, which was problematic because, you see, I'm supposed to speak at this funeral, I'm supposed to sing at this funeral, and I'm supposed to pallbear at this funeral. And for those of you who don't know what pallbearing is, we're going to carry the casket. So me and my cousins, we're all going to do this for my grandfather. And I'm like, in this moment, I'm just going, I don't know what else to do. So let's pause that story. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So let's leave me on the side of the road, I-95. Let's rewind about a month. Abby and I are on a rare and glorious date night. For those of you who are our Kids Cove friends, you know Miss Abby. Yes, she really does hang out with me. I don't know why either, but I'm really glad that she does. So we're out on a date night, and we're having this conversation about how life has just been coming and coming and coming, and we're tired. We're exhausted. We don't know how it's going to go on, and so we're having this conversation, but we need to bring some people into our lives to help us kind of fight the battles that we're too tired to fight, because sometimes life just throws at you a little more than you can handle. And we all need this circle, don't we? And I'm not talking about acquaintances. I'm not talking about people to play board games with or go to dinner with sometimes. We need those people in our lives too, but for the purposes of this conversation, that's not who I'm talking about right now, okay? In many ways, we're so much more connected to each other than we've ever been, aren't we? That's the beauty of technology, is I'm connected to people that I would have otherwise lost contact with a long time ago. But what I've found, at least in my life, is I still have the same relational capacity. In other words, like I'm maybe connected to more people, but I'm not as deeply connected with anybody as I would be otherwise. And we need to go deeper, don't we? We need to go deeper in our relationships. We need to have people in our lives who really know us, who are really known by us. We need somebody we can call when we're on the second surgery, we're on the death of a loved one, in need of a third car. All in the space of 1 month. It's 3:30 in the morning. Who you calling then? We need people who we can trust. We need people who know us, who love us, who've seen us at our worst and our best, know us, love us, but aren't impressed by us. And many of us, especially us men and boys, you need to tune into this too. Us men, we were like, I don't need that in my life. I got this. I can do this on my own. I'll just pull myself up by my bootstraps. I got this. And I'm here to tell you this morning, no, you don't. No, you don't. Life is coming. And there are times you just really can't handle it on your own, can you? And it's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, isn't it? Well, God won't give you more than you can handle. And listen, when people say that, they mean well. They genuinely do, most of the time anyway. But intentional or not, it's actually a misrepresentation of what Scripture says, because Scripture never says God won't give you more than you can handle. What it says is God won't allow you to be tempted beyond what you can bear, and when you are tempted, He'll provide a way out. Now, that's an amazing promise, but it's also a far cry from God won't give you more than you can handle, isn't it? And I can tell you from personal experience that even in just the last couple of months, God has given me more than I can handle on more than one occasion, and I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one in this room right now. I'm certainly not the only one on the stream. And we see it over and over and over again in the pages of Scripture where God hands people more than they can handle. And I'm going to just give you one example today. This is from David's life. In 2 Samuel chapter 21, we find David on the brink. Listen to these words. Because once again, there was a battle between the Philistines and Israel. David went down with his men to fight against the Philistines, and he became exhausted. At Ishbi-benob, one of the descendants of Rapha, whose bronze spearhead weighed 300 shekels and who was armed with a new sword, said he would do what? Said he would do what? Kill David. Thank you, Kids Cove friends, for helping me out here. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to David's rescue. He struck the Philistine down and killed him. Then David's men swore to him, saying, "Never again will you go out with us to battle, so that the lamp of Israel will not be extinguished." In the course of time, there was another battle with the Philistines at Gob. At that time, Sibbecai the Hushathite killed Soph, one of the descendants of Rapha. In another battle with the Philistines at Gob, Elkanah, son of Jair, the Bethlehemite, killed the brother of Goliath. You may have heard of him. The brother of Goliath, the Gittite, who had a spear with a shaft like a weaver's rod. Some of you are like, why in the world are we talking about this scripture today? That's a weird, there's a whole lot of names and a whole lot of things. Why are we talking about this? Here's what I want you to see. Here's what I want you to see. David was exhausted, but the battle came anyway. David was exhausted, but the battle came anyway. The battles didn't slow down so David could take a day off, so he could have a mental health day, so he could go take a nap. The battles kept coming anyway. And if David hadn't surrounded himself with people who could fight the battles that needed to be fought, even when he was too tired to fight them, he would have wound up dead. But instead, in Scripture, we read about David's mighty men. And if you've never read about David's mighty men, man, you need to do that. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names because you just listened to me butcher a whole bunch of names just now. But I want to give you just a snapshot of some of the things that these guys did. One of them killed 300 men and the son of a giant, just one guy. Another one killed 2 Moabite heroes, an Egyptian giant, and a lion. He went down into a pit with a lion on a snowy day. He's the one that walked out. I'm watching that movie. How about you? Yeah, I'm watching that. Another one killed 800 men at one time with a spear. 800 men, one time with a spear. These are some bad dudes. These are some guys that you want in your corner when it's going down. And David was no slouch, right? David was a noted warrior. He was skilled. He was chosen by God to lead the people of Israel. And yet, he surrounded himself with other people because he understood that not even David could fight all of the battles that were coming his way on his own. So he handpicked his inner circle, and they saved his life on more than one occasion. So let me ask you, who's sitting at your table? Who's sitting at your table? Who's in that circle with you? Who are you going to call when you're too exhausted to fight anymore? These are not just people who wander into your life. These relationships don't just happen one day by accident. These kind of relationships have to be cultivated over time. They've got to be forged on purpose, for a purpose, and with purpose. And many of us, we choose not to do this because we understand, like, man, if I'm going to trust somebody like that, that's going to take some time. I'm going to have to sacrifice some other things if I'm really going to get on that level with somebody. And I don't know if I have time for that. And I came here today to tell you this. Your life will never be any richer than your relationships. It won't. Your life will never be any richer than your relationships. And you find yourself frustrated, you're worn out, you're tired, you feel alone, and it might be because you are. It might be because you are. But you don't have to stay that way. You don't have to stay that way. You need to identify the people in your life that you want to bring into your inner circle, because we understand that not all relationships are created equal, don't we? We understand this, and we say this to our kids all the time. You need to be kind to everyone. Parents, you say that to your kids? You need to be kind to everyone, but you also understand the difference between people who pour life into you and suck life out of you, don't you? You just had two faces pop in your head when I said that, didn't you? You don't have to say it out loud. It's okay. There's a difference between the people who breathe life into you and the people who suck the life out of you. My question for you is this: are you intentionally spending time with people who fill you with life? Are you intentionally spending time with people who fill you with life? These are the people who want things for you, not just from you. That one sentence will change your life. These are the people who want things for you, not just from you. And listen, these people, they will enrich your life. They'll enrich your soul. So how do you find these people? Well, every Wednesday at 10:30, I meet on Zoom with a group of pastors from around the country. It's called the Connect Leadership Network. What's up, fellas? I love you. I'm glad you're in my life. We meet every Wednesday and talk about what's going on and share some things that just can't be shared in any other place. And over this last year, we were going through a book called Soul Strength by Dr. Alan Algrim, and he had this list of questions that I think will be very helpful. So I wanted to share them with you this morning. I want you to answer these questions. Check these out. It says this: who breathes life into me rather than sucks the life out of me? Who challenges me spiritually? Who sharpens me mentally? Who's a friend of my excitement? Who makes me laugh? Who can keep a confidence? Who leaves me feeling more alive? I'll leave it up there for a second. If you want to take a picture, you can do that. I'll read it one more time. Who breathes life into me rather than sucks the life out of me? Who challenges me spiritually? Who sharpens me mentally? Who's a friend of my excitement? Who makes me laugh? Who can keep a confidence? Who leaves me feeling more alive? Now, if you follow us on social, on Facebook or Instagram at 12:30 today, right after second service is over, these questions are going to appear there. Here's what I need you to do. If you didn't already take a picture, I need you to go there. I need you to screenshot that, save it, whatever. And either at lunch today or at dinner today with whoever you're with, I want you to answer these questions. And what you'll find probably is that the answer to these questions involves more than one person. Okay? This is the start to your inner circle. I want you to do this. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't slough it off and say, it's probably fine. I want you to do this. I want you to do it today because the answers to these questions has the potential to change the entire trajectory of your life. Maybe right now, you feel alone. Feel like you really don't have a lot of rich relationships. You're starting to feel isolated, starting to feel depressed. And you come here every week and you hear us all say at the end of service, we're in this together. And you just are like, well, that's great, but I just don't know if that's true for me. And here's the thing, it might not be. It might not be. And I know that's hard to hear. It's hard to hear for me, and God's been working on me, and I want to just share with you what he's given to me. And I hope you know that when I say this, I say it in love, but here's what it is. Here's a hard truth. You are where you are relationally right now because of relational seeds you've sown or failed to sow. You are where you are relationally right now because of relational seeds you've either sown or failed to sow. Let me say that another way. You have the relationships you have because of the choices you've made. And maybe that doesn't feel real good. Maybe I don't like where I am right now. The good news is this. If I don't like where I am right now, I can change that. I have the power to change that. And I feel this in a personal way because I've been feeling pretty alone lately. And pastors often do. And I debated on even saying this to you, but I'm going to share this with you. Pastors have this thing, most pastors that I know, have this thing where Satan likes to get in our head and he'll say, you don't actually have any real friends. You know that, right? Because even the people that hang out with you, they're not the same people when they're with you than when they are just with anybody else. So you don't actually know anybody because they put it on for you. And then they are their real selves with everybody else. So you don't actually have any friends. You, my friend, are alone. And I can tell you, as I'm sitting there, pinned against the guardrail on I-95 at 3:30 in the morning with all the dashboard lights on and not a light in sight, I felt that. I felt that. It felt like this was the culmination of everything that could go wrong had been going wrong in my life. And I was exhausted. I was pretty depressed in that moment. And I didn't want to keep going. I'm like, I quit. I'm just going to sit here for a little while because what's the point? You know what happened next, though? My circle changed my story. My circle changed my story. Our neighbor, why she was doing this outside of Jesus, I have no idea. Our neighbor decided that 3:30 in the morning was a great time to walk her dogs. So she's outside and sees Abby running around because she's going to come get me, but she's got to load all the kids in the car because she can't leave them there by herself. Our neighbor sees her running around and says, what's going on? Hey, I'll watch the kids, let them sleep because they got to go to school in like 5 hours. And she said, let me watch the kids. I can let them sleep. You can go get Elliot. So that's what happened. She just happened to be outside. So Abby comes to get me. She gets me off the side of the road, takes me to Sanford. I get on the flight. I go to the funeral. I just barely make the flight, but I did make it. Get there up at the funeral, and I'm supposed to fly back on Saturday. My wife is supposed to be at a wedding on Saturday. Our nephew got married that same Saturday as my grandfather's funeral, and that wedding was just north of Tampa. Okay, I'm not touching down until 11 p.m. Okay, we got a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. Anybody else want to sign up for driving across the state at 11 p.m. with all them? So my buddy Joe, who will be here in just a little bit, he's outside putting stuff up for Fall Festival right now. He said, hey, my family, we're going to be in Orlando on Saturday anyway. I'll send them home. I'll stay late. I'll pick you up at the airport at 11 so that you don't have to have Abby and the kids go all the way across the state and get home at 2 in the morning. So he showed up for me there. And while Abby was at the funeral, my brother-in-law said, man, I heard what happened. I hate that for you. Here's something that's going to hopefully kind of make it a little bit better. You know, I know that you're needing a third car in the space of a month, and I just bought a new car for my wife, and it needs some work to be done before it's ready. But then we were just talking the other night about how, you know, when it is ready, we want to just give this car she's driving now to somebody else. Would you guys like to just have this car? And our jaws hit the ground as we watched God provide over and over and over and over again. And I had no less than 3 people from this church offer to let me borrow a car indefinitely while we wait on this other car to be ready. And you have no idea how many people got in my face upset with me because I did not call them at 3:30 in the morning to ask them to come get me off the side of the road. You see, Satan wants to convince you that you're isolated, but you're not. But you're not. Isolation's a choice. You need people in your life who you can call. I'm not talking about text right now. I'm talking about call at 3:30 in the morning. These relationships do not happen by accident. So we're not going to live isolated anymore, church. We're in this together. It's not just going to be a cute phrase that we say at the end of service. We're going to spend intentional time every week, every month with people who enrich our souls because we understand that we will never be healthier, we will never be happier than the soul care people of friends that we surround ourselves with. We just won't. And these are people, man, they love well. They love Jesus well. They love us well. They love other people well. They've been transformed by Jesus, and they're actively living for Him. That's why they're willing to sacrifice. It's how they know how to love other people well, because that's what Jesus does. He teaches us how to love. That's why Jesus said, what's the greatest commandment? You remember what Jesus said? They asked Him, what's the greatest commandment? He said, love God with everything you got and love your neighbor as yourself. So church, this is the mission. This is what we are supposed to be doing. We are going to be people who love others well because we love Jesus. We're going to be there for them. We're going to let them be there for us. I know that's hard, but listen, life is not going to quit coming. It's not going to slow down because we got tired. There's going to come a day when we're too exhausted to fight the battle anymore. And when that day comes, and it will come, when that day comes, we're going to thank Jesus for the rich blessings that He's pouring out on our lives through the people we have surrounded ourselves with. And we know that those people are never more than a phone call away. You believe that, church? Let's stand together. Let's give God praise. Let's continue worshiping Him this morning.